It's Madden NFL 22, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Ravens and the Chiefs, and it comes your way next.
It is perhaps the best home field advantage in all of football, and certainly the loudest, as we welcome you to GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. A few short moments ago, these two teams made their way out of the Arrowhead Stadium tunnels, and the noise level in this place was just about off the charts. They're set for football as the Chiefs get set to do battle with the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and CD, you think about our quarterback matchup here. We got a couple of guys who are definitely dangerous when you get down near the red zone. Lamar Jackson of the Ravens, Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs.
And you use the perfect word there, Brandon, dangerous. Yeah, they're dangerous just about anywhere on the field, but the red zone, that's where they absolutely excel, and I think it's because they can keep defenses off balance. You know they can run, you know they can pass. The RPOs come into play, but the biggest thing is when the pocket breaks down, they can create something out of nothing and sting a defense.
Justin Tucker all set, and we are set to see the cream of the crop in the AFC as we are underway here with the Ravens and the Chiefs. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Here's the Chiefs offense for their first possession, and it's Patrick Mahomes at quarterback.
And when you think of Patrick Mahomes, you start to think about all of his attributes, and you realize very quickly, you can't just put him into one box. No matter how the game proceeds, no matter what is needed, he tends to have an answer for it and plays accordingly.
On first down, Mahomes. And he'll look underneath here for Edwards-Helaire. And he'll be corralled right around the 34.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so. It gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
From the 34 now, here's first and 10. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And this one caught by Travis Kelce. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Mahomes now on first down. And this one almost intercepted. Not a good throw there. Nearly an opening drive INT. So now second and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
56, the mock boys, 56, check 56.
Now it's Mahomes again. They'll set up the screen to Edwards-Helaire. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45.
I like the screen being called here early in the game. especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 43. Forced out to his left. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
I think we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
In need of only about the length of the football here on 2nd down. They'll run for the first time with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And this time not quite to the 30. He'll be down at the 31-yard line.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
They'll run. It's Edwards-Helaire. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Now they'll throw with Mahomes. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. Well, a nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Now Mahomes. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And in for the Chiefs touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster, 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Chiefs take it right down and score on the opening drive. They gotta love that. 9-play drive results in 6 points.
That means they're doing the dictating. That means that they've described how the game's going to go. They're playing at their tempo, at their pace. If you're on the other side of the ball, if you're playing defense, defense is not methodical. They've got to go in there and shake things up and create a little havoc.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes the score 7-0. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. On the return, Devin Duvernay. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line.
Let's go, let's go.
The Ravens offense going to work, and as usual, it's Lamar Jackson, the former MVP of the league, at the helm.
Early part of his career, defenses really had to focus on his running ability, and they still do. But now, he's turned himself into a true dual-threat quarterback. When he plants his cleats in the ground and turns it loose, good things happen downfield.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. An option handoff here to Dobbins. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
From the 29, Jackson. That's complete. It's Devin Duvernay. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Well, I can certainly tell my age, partner, because when I was a kid, running backs like J.K. Dobbins with over 2,000 yards in their final season in college, they went early in the draft. Instead, he somehow lasted until the second round. But how great is it to get a guy with that ability who can run it inside, run to the perimeter, and catch the football out of the backfield? To be able to get him in the second round, that's what I call a steal.
DC, ready? DC.
Option play, and they'll hand to Dobbins. And flags come in as he gets forward for about 3 yards. Now let's check on the call. So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot, but they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
They'll go option to the short side. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30.
Keep playing hard.
And this, it's certainly something to watch out for. He is not afraid to call his own number on plays like that. And here he takes it for good yardage.
And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball game. And all that preparation, it goes right out the window.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory, down at the 31. Now flags come in. I think one of the Ravens got going a little early. And that's on the guard, Kevin Zeitler.
We go work.
Still first down.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Now it's Jackson. And that'll be caught by the big tight end, Andrews. That catch good for only a couple.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
To throw again on 2nd down, Jackson. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. It was Frank Clark that time who got in there to bring him down. And this is a quarterback who's already had success on the ground in this first half, but this time they're able to hem him in.
And it's always different when you rush a mobile quarterback as opposed to a guy you know will be right back in the pocket. In this case, you got to make sure the inside pressure and the outside pressure match, and maybe even a second wave to make sure if he squirts free, you've got someone to tackle him.
And that is no good. He gave it a good run. That wasn't more than a foot or so wide to the left. And this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Kansas City taking the field for their second drive. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
Two sides to every coin. This is the bad side of missing the 58-yarder. Now they start at the 48.
56.
Now Mahomes, maybe a free play. And a sack. They get to him defensively, but the flag comes in, and I think the D jumped. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
A boost here to start the drive. After the penalty, it's 1st and 5. Mahomes going to throw. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. But good hands there defensively. That's 2nd down.
Even the greats in this game, and he certainly qualifies as one of them, they're going to have trouble if they continue to throw into double coverage.
He better be careful. Throwing into too much double coverage might have a couple of them picked off. From the 47, it's 2nd and 5. To throw, it's Mahomes. Flush to his right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Mahomes now on 1st down. Caught here by Bell. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. 2nd down and 5. Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. And that is caught for the touchdown, Kansas City. Juju Smith-Schuster with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Chiefs are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to it. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and it's now 14-0. 5 plays there on that drive, and it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Devin Duvernay now returning from the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Baltimore set to take over here for their second possession of the game. They had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Now Jackson on first down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. 2nd and 10. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Now on 3rd down, an extra DB out there for the Chiefs. Here's Jackson. He'll check this down to Dobbins out of the backfield. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down. The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at about the 32. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Taking a deep shot here for Hardman. And incomplete on the deep ball.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Here's 2nd and 10. Mahomes now to throw. It's Kelsey on the ground. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll step aside and get an update when we return to Arrowhead.
Let's get him. Come on. Let's do this.
And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Edwards-Helaire, they'll try to run for it. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Adafe Owe coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Just not much a quarterback can do there, CD. The pressure was in his face almost instantaneously, led to a very quick sack.
And this came from the edge, and those pass rushers, they have so many tricks of the trade to get around blockers. They have a lot of tools in their kit. This was pure speed and athleticism on this play, though, and they could barely get a glove on him before he got the quarterback on the ground.
Complete, the tight end Kelsey. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
I'll give them credit for a good read right there because they read the man coverage on the right side and sent the tight end a few steps down the field and then angled him to the left on a crossing route. And he was able to get enough separation on this play to turn it into a nice gain.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. 1st and 10, it's Edwards-Helaire with it. Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. Marlon Humphrey with the tackle defensively.
Not the kind of gain that we'll go absolutely crazy for, but it's the kind of gain that you need to have when you're running back in the NFL, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire with that low center of gravity and strength. He's going to get those tough, gritty yards for you when necessary.
From the 41, Mahomes. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. Talk about a big first half. Already has the 2 touchdowns, adding to his receiving total there and picking up the first down.
He's coming off the line so fast. I think he's intimidating the defensive backs with his explosiveness, and he's chipping away at their confidence.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now here's Mahomes. Completes it to Hardman. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. Locates Hardman for another catch. And he'll be pulled down, and now a late flag will come with it. And that's in the area of a face mask, I think. So that a free 15 yards.
And it's always a tough one as a defender because a lot of the penalties that you commit, pass interference, holding, when they happen, you actually know what you're doing. But a face mask penalty, a lot of times it's inadvertent, but it still costs you the same amount of yardage.
So now after the face mask penalty, here's 1st and goal. They go back to the ground with Edwards-Helaire. He gets this down to the 3, but no further. Brought the great move out of the bag, but couldn't do a ton with it. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal. $14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter from KC. It's the Chiefs in possession of the football as they come up now 2nd and goal. Kelsey out in the slot right. On 2nd and goal, Mahomes. He's got it. Touchdown, Chiefs. Marquez Valdez-Scantling there to make the grab. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and it's now 21-0. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. On the return is Duvernay. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half. Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either. And they'll begin by running the option. First down and more for Jackson. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield.
Let's go.
I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react, even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL. They're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Here's a give to Dobbins.
And he's going to be met at about the 43.
Well, every now and then we have to let a cliche fly, partner. And in this case, what do they say in the NFL? Your best ability is often your availability. And this is an extremely durable kid coming out of Ohio State. Carried the ball every time they even thought about running it. Wore down defenses and able to break big runs late in games. J.K. Dobbins going to Baltimore, an absolute perfect fit.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
And his kick is good. Oh, he just did tuck it into the bottom of that left corner. And the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon. And think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. Hardman, he is not going to bring this out, so they will start the drive at the 25. Out comes Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. And a trio of touchdown passes so far. They've got the lead as well. All is good in their football world at this point.
And it's so much fun for our colleagues, right? Think about our producer, our director, everyone putting together these shots. Wouldn't you love to be in the truck right now and hear him calling for it? Give me that one, give me that one, give me that one. And we just saw 3 beautiful touchdown passes.
Now he's looking for 4. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it could be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game. Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off, and then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Working from the gun, Mahomes. And that's incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Looking to throw is Mahomes. He'll find his running back, Edwards-Helaire. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger game.
On 3rd down, here's Edwards-Helaire. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
On 4th down, Tommy Townsend to punt for Kansas City. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. And this will be incomplete.
So many times we've seen him try to escape the pocket and do something with his legs, but in this case, the pressure was too intense and he made the wise choice to just get rid of the football and make sure no one was going to get it.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Jackson to throw. Throw right side taken in by Wallace. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped.
Let's go.
It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Dobbins running out of the gun. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. From the gun, it's Jackson. He'll dump this off complete to Dobbins. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd run to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
Holding. Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating? The guys who just gave up that play.
The Ravens on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 8. Now it's Jackson. And the Chiefs are going to get him. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on 3rd down.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They're not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Set to take over, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And how about the start so far, Charles? 3 first-half touchdown passes.
And that's how you generate excitement on a team. Keep your offense moving at a really high level. And it's also how you establish leadership, by playing that well. 3 touchdown passes, that's the way to lead.
Now he's just hoping for number 4. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10, right at the 30. The drive will begin with a run by Edwards-Helaire. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
From the 35 on 2nd down, Mahomes got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
Throwing on 1st down is Mahomes. Short throw hauled in by Kelsey. It's another 10 yards on that one and another 1st down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Options galore here. 2nd and a few inches. Here's Edwards-Helaire. And he'll get it down here to the 43.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
They'll run here with Edwards-Helaire. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
They had 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
Behind the chain, 2nd and 12. Now Mahomes. Pitch and catch here to Travis Kelce. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking of throwing to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the 1st down and then some.
Three tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. Now a carry for Edwards-Helaire. And he'll take this one inside the 10, down to the 8. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. This throw incomplete, nearly picked off. And with his pedigree, he doesn't drop many of those. But 3rd down coming up.
I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost. And now there could be a letdown because they didn't get the interception.
Yeah, you could almost hear the collective gasp on the sideline as he could not come up with that football. Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Ravens are going to take over here up near the 40. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
And now here come the Ravens. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a 1st down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chattering now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
Now Dobbins again on 2nd down. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
And that's a nice pickup of a 1st down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
Dobbins going to take the handoff on the option. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That was a terrific play, causing a loss. As a middle linebacker, simple. You can either fill holes or you can attack them, as he did there.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Now a handoff for Dobbins. Dobbins hit and he fumbles.
They don't want it.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
Keep playing hard, fellas, all day.
We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. And he's got his tight end. That's Andrews. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Let's go.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Jackson from the shotgun. And just not enough on the throw there, down around his feet and incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Jackson. Throw right side here, taken in by Bateman. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 14.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
First red zone chance now for the Ravens. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Took nearly the entire first half, but a first red zone opportunity for him here. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. Now Jackson. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Working with a 2nd and 3. Here's Jackson. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Here comes play number 9 now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. From the gun, Jackson. He'll check this down to Dobbins out of the backfield. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
But with the score where it is, you're not thinking field goals right now. You need touchdowns. So that was a much-needed conversion there on 3rd down.
This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Throwing is Jackson. And in for the Ravens touchdown. Rashad Bateman on the touchdown throw from Lamar Jackson. And the Ravens are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. Until that late score here in the second quarter, they'd only had the field goal, so that's just big to see that football get into the end zone.
Yeah, and when you look at the scoreboard now, nothing seems out of reach. They've been outplayed in the first half, but when the clock hits zeros as they head into the half, you know what I do as the head coach?
What?
I tell my team to sprint to the locker room to show that we've got the momentum and show that we're right back in this game.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that'll make this now an 11-point deficit. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. He does have the one interception, Charles, but I think that's been more than offset by the 3 first-half touchdown passes.
I would agree with you. There is a blemish, but when you've thrown 3 touchdown passes to try and erase it, that's a little bit better than the ratio that all NFL coaches are seeking from their quarterbacks, and he's giving it to them.
They'll take the 3-1?
Every single time.
Just 18 seconds remain till halftime as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. So we've come upon halftime here in KC with the Chiefs on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. First, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Ravens. And they will need to get this passing game in gear because they did not do much of anything in that first half. And it's why the scoreline is what it is. Meanwhile, for the Chiefs, they were much more successful throwing the football than their counterparts, as you can see the numbers there.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the 3rd quarter. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. An option handoff here to Dobbins. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. They'll go option on 2nd down, right side. 1st down and more for Jackson. The 40, past the 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. It's a scintillating run by Lamar Jackson. And the Ravens come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. Well, I mean, Lamar Jackson, what more can we say at this point? He is a living, breathing highlight reel. And go ahead and tack on that last play to the list of big ones by number 8.
And this is a play defensively where you're just looking around and saying, what was that? What just happened? You're looking at your teammates. They're looking at you. And let's face it, your defensive coordinator, he's not going to tip his cap to him. That's not how football works, but he probably should have after that run. That was absolutely sensational.
And he covered a lot of ground on that one, as evidenced by the final total there on Next Gen Stats.
Well, I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
Hardman will elect not to bring this out, and the football will be on the 25-yard line.
So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2.
And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a one-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a one-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change, because otherwise that could overrun your team. You've got to be careful right here.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here's Edwards-Helaire as they will start on the ground. Justin Madubuike there to bring him down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
8 yards to go on 2nd down.
From the gun, it's Mahomes. Open man here. It's the tight end, Kelsey. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. Mahomes finding his tight end, Kelsey, for a big one. And even 50 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Here's Mahomes to throw. That is caught at the 7. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taking them no time at all to get down here. And now they're set up for the 1st and goal.
So 3 plays already 1st and goal, and they are wasting little time. Throwing now is Mahomes. Caught. Kelsey, left side. Touchdown! Mahomes hitting his favorite target, Travis Kelsey, on the touchdown pass. And the Chiefs are able to grow their lead.
As a general rule, quarterbacks don't want to lock in on a receiver before the ball is snapped. But in this case, based on the matchup he thought he was going to get, it was favorable for his tight end. He locked in on him early and found him for a touchdown.
Butker now to add the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25.
Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
Option play, and they'll hand to Dobbins.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
To throw is Jackson. That's going to be caught. It's James Prochet.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
Let's go, boys.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
They'll run on 1st down. Dobbins, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. A lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Now an option play on 2nd down.
And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8.
So that was all you're looking for on a play like that. Get the 1st down and keep the drive moving.
Yeah, it just looked to me like he just said to himself, I've got this. I'll take it. I'll pick it up, and let's keep moving. Get the 1st down, get a new set, and let's start over.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 44-yard line.
Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Another run here with Dobbins.
And he'll take it inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Jackson. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a 1st down.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Nice play, man.
From the 9, 2nd and 5. Jackson going to hold on to it again.
And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down.
And if you like defensive football, focus on the defensive end on this play. He does everything exactly right. Reads the play and make sure he spills it for a small gain.
This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on 3rd down. Jackson now. He's got it. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the 1st down as he's tackled at the 1.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the 1st. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Jackson going to run.
And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
He kept it in his hands and tried to push it across the goal line himself, but the defensive front wouldn't allow him to do so, bringing up 2nd down and a bit farther.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. Now it's Jackson. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal.
From the gun, Jackson. This is caught. A great job to hold him to just a yard there. Now it's 4th and goal.
Well, the coverage was tight that time. They allowed the pass underneath to him, but they rallied to him pretty fast too. Converged on him and got him down. That'll bring up 4th down.
And no hesitation about this decision here. Confidently, they're going to go for this. 4th and goal from the 3. Back to throw. Jackson. Got a man. It's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Nick Boyle there to make the grab.
And the Ravens' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury, and it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run, and he finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
Tucker now to add the point after. And the lead is down to a field goal now. That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told, and it's capped off by the Baltimore score. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
Hardman going to bring it out of the end zone. And able to get this out to the 25.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
Out comes Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. He has been on his A game. We're in the 3rd quarter. He's already in search of touchdown pass number 5.
He's played so well, that it's hard for me to take my eyes off of him, even when he's not on the field. I keep finding him on the bench in between series, wondering what he's going to do next. This has been a blast to watch him play the position.
He's been spectacular with those 4 touchdown passes. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
He'll find his running back, Edwards-Helaire.
And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while, get at least 2 first downs, give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34.
Now Edwards-Helaire.
And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, "Are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down." They love being physical.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now here's Mahomes. Throw left side complete. That's Bell. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
Meanwhile, Mahomes' throw here complete to Kelsey.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 47. They go play action. Now Mahomes. That is caught by Smith-Schuster. And he's taken down inside the 30.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
A shotgun snap and a give to Edwards-Helaire.
And he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
6 yards left on 2nd down.
To throw, it's Mahomes. Complete, the tight end Kelsey. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
But when you hit him on the move like that, he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam. Oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Looking to throw is Mahomes.
Another pass into the reliable hands of Kelsey.
And in for the Chiefs touchdown.
Mahomes hitting his favorite target, Travis Kelsey, on the touchdown pass.
And the Chiefs add on to their lead.
Well, we know someone just added to his touchdown passing total, but all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest of the way.
Butker on for the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that one an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards. And the gadget play gets him into the end zone. after the touchdown. Here's Butker on to kick it away.
No run back here for Duvernay. Touchback out to the 25.
The Ravens offense now, they get set to head back on the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Jackson.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked off at the 28.
Offensively, when you see cover 2, the thought has to go through the quarterback's head. Drive the football when making throws. It's not just the deep guys covering. It's the guys underneath you have to be careful of. Drive your throw. Otherwise, you see what results? Interceptions.
Set to take over, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And the numbers for the last drive, and he was perfect, which maybe isn't surprising because he has not missed a pass in this game yet.
And it lets you know just how precise things have to be for a quarterback to be perfect, because that means the line's blocking really well, no one's dropping any of the passes thrown to them, and the quarterback is accurate. It's almost like a pitcher throwing a no-hitter or a perfect game, isn't it? He's the principal guy, but he needs a lot of help.
Time to find out if he can keep that perfect game going here, partner.
They'll run with Edwards-Helaire.
And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
One more time with Edwards-Helaire.
And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters.
You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
We're back now in KC. It's the Chiefs with the lead and the football here as we get set for quarter number 4.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Edwards-Helaire.
And they'll get him down just shy of the goal line at about the 1. He needed 3, he got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard.
Well, if this defense can hold them to a field goal here, what a win that would be.
Not just a win on the possession, but psychologically take over the ball game. But this started with 1st and goal, so they were in 4-down territory right from the beginning. I say you finish it off and go for the touchdown.
The offense is staying out there. Here we go on 4th and goal from the 1.
They'll go. It's Edwards-Helaire.
And I don't think he got in. He didn't. He's stoned at the 1-yard line. They stop him up short on 4th and goal from the 1. And the Ravens come up big down at their own goal line.
The offense for the Ravens returns to the field.
And last time, 1-play interceptions, so this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins.
And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line.
52 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
They'll go option to the short side, and he'll be hit and dropped for a loss at the 5-yard line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
Well, he's had success running the football on this one. Yeah, that's undeniable, but that time the defense was onto it.
And, partner, I think the more you see a play like this, the more they're able to diagnose it quicker and easier for them to defend it. I think you have to dress it up a little bit and show maybe some different formations and looks.
The Ravens on third down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This will be 3rd and 5. Here's Jackson to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, the fans should be applauding this defense right now. It's an excellent job. They force a 3 and out, and they should be able to set up their guys with great field position, probably near midfield or better.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on here to punt it away. And he's able to get it out quickly, and this is not a bad kick here. A little juke. That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
And Kansas City's offense now set and ready to go. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. They'll try and start this drive in the air. To Valdez-Scantling over the middle. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
Mahomes now on 1st down.
That to his running back, Edwards-Helaire.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. It's a big play there for the Chiefs.
I'm seeing a lot of guys shaking their heads on defense right now, particularly in the secondary. And when you see that going on, that is never a good sign. But it's understandable. They've been shredded so far.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
The ball on the 8. Still could get a 1st down technically. 2nd and 7.
Mahomes going to throw. Touchdown! That's caught. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. His 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead.
An important score there, CD, and now an important extra point because it would make it a 3-score game.
Love the math there, and at this point in the 4th quarter, look, we all need next-gen stats, right? We all use them, but we don't need them here, do we? Because that means it's almost a certain victory.
Butker now to add the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. after the touchdown. Here's Butker on to kick it away.
This taken in at the goal line.
Well, now how about this return? And a powerful stiff arm. It frees him.
Devin Duvernay.
And it'll be an excellent return as he's all the way down inside the 25-yard line.
Even after that big-time return, it's not looking great for them today. But if nothing else, even if the miracle doesn't happen, they can turn to this play and say, hey, we can move forward. Maybe it's a building block for the rest of the season.
And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession.
They were forced to punt last time. Now, I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
They'll throw on first down with Jackson.
And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Jackson from the shotgun. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. Like a freight train there, Derek Nottie with a sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury.
Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens.
Here's Jackson.
That's into the hands of Crochet.
Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down. Did they maybe play that too safely on 3rd down? I know you don't want to just throw a ball blindly downfield, but that didn't help them a whole lot.
I think they probably said if it's open, take the shot. If not, get something safe because we do have 4th down to try and pick it up.
And Tucker's kick right there. It's good, and that will close the gap down to 14. Well, with that field goal, you can argue they needed to get back within 2 scores, and they did indeed do that, but still a pretty uphill battle.
Still going to take 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to get back into it. And as you and I know, that's a tall order against any NFL defense. They're going to need their own defense to make some plays as well to give them an opportunity.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away.
And Hardman going to go ahead and sit on this one as it'll come out to the 25.
Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. And he had the touchdown on the last drive, also 4 for 4. Very, very effective. What does he need to do to translate that forward into this drive?
Not think that what he saw in coverages last time is exactly what he's going to get again. He's got to play ahead and start thinking to himself, okay, we just did that. What are they going to take away now? What do we go to as a counter? And continue to encourage his offensive line to continue to give him time.
They were really good on the last drive. Play action. Now it's Mahomes. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And his guys will take over at the 14-yard line in the red zone.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Now Jackson taps this forward, jet sweep. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11.
That was a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
Second and 6. No, scratch that. Second and 7. Dobbins going to take the handoff on the option.
And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
On third down, Jackson. Dancing to his left. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a fourth down.
I like this effort there. He got it done on his own, but let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the first down.
Tucker's kick is good. And that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11. So no problems at all on that one. And you know, there's virtually no win. This is a kicker's dream here tonight.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So to me, with no wind, it should be a passer's dream as well, right? But in this case, the defense held out. He had to force the field goal.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away.
And bring this out to the 25. No return there for Hardman.
And now here comes Kansas City. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
Mahomes' throw complete there to Smith-Schuster.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35.
But when you're up by 2 scores in the fourth quarter and you're going to throw the football, expect to see a lot of man coverage because usually what comes along with man coverage is pressure. So if you're a play caller and you want to keep throwing the football, that's fine. Just make sure your offensive line understands they're going to get additional guys running at the quarterback.
Now a pass that's taken in by Smith-Schuster. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Throwing again on second down. Mahomes.
They'll set up the screen to Edwards-Helaire.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the fourth, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. They continue to throw these safe passes. Who can blame them?
First and 10, it's Edwards-Helaire with it.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
65 yards for him on the ground now on that, his 20th carry of the ball game.
And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Right back to Edwards-Helaire on first down.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up second down. Throwing now is Mahomes. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Edwards-Helaire, they'll try to run for it.
And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
It carries like that. That's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10.
They'll run. It's Edwards-Helaire.
And they'll get to him just inside the 15. Even after the strong run we just saw, they're able to corral him quickly defensively. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
The Chiefs on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This time it's 3rd and 3.
We gotta step it up. 56. Mike. 56. Watch the run.
And they'll go jet sweep to try to pick it up. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. They'll try and run for it. And he's able to pick up the 1st down before he's tackled right at the 10. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal.
They will try to run with Edwards-Helaire.
And he'll get him a bit closer as he's down to the 2-yard line. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
This is a long drive offensively. Wouldn't you hate to end this with just 3 points?
Doesn't it feel like during a ball game you have certain narratives going on and there's certain drives that seem to take on just a bit more importance than others? This feels like one of those, doesn't it? To me, 3 points here, a major letdown. This is the time to go and put 6 on the board.
So on 4th down, Mahomes off, Harrison Butker on for the Chiefs field goal. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. Butker's kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
Well, he was a spectator for much of this game. This is his first field goal opportunity of the entire contest, but he's able to connect.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seat to this one, didn't he? But let's face it, kickers that you and I know, they want to contribute. They want their opportunity, and he seized his.
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away.
Oh, the return is Duvernay. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
So Lamar Jackson in the offense. Down by 2 touchdowns. Exactly 1 minute remaining. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on 1st down.
Throwing, Jackson.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Here's Jackson.
He's going to let it fly. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way down to the 29. It's a big play there for Baltimore.
A lot of running backs in the passing game, they're just used to check it down to them or maybe dump off passes. But this guy, they use him to stretch the field, don't they?
He stretched it right there, turned it into a really nice game. 1st down now, but the clock continues to move.
Jackson.
Buying time to his left. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I like the thought process there. They connected on a big play, and sometimes you find the defense vulnerable. So they went for the bigger shot, went for it all on that one. This time, they were ready for it.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29.
Now Jackson.
Flushed out right. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Late in the game, defense trying to avoid a big play. He's able to work out of the passing game, turn it into a run, pick up the 1st, and stop the clock as well.
And you know in this situation, everything is sped up. The intensity, the thinking, everyone's movement. But for a quarterback, he has to continue to be what we call a flatliner. Level in everything he does and read the clock, feel it in the pocket, and go at the appropriate time.
One last shot for Jackson. And that'll be caught by the big tight end, Andrews. And he is out of bounds, looks like right at the 15. 3 yards the game there, 2nd down.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
One final shot. They'll look to throw.
He'll dump this off, complete to Dobbins.
And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.